A full year would pass inside the room of spirit and time. Goku and Vegeta would achieve great results, greatly increasing their powers. Everything would be ready to return, but they would notice that the door connecting the room of spirit and time was gone. Kakarot, what the hell happened to the door? Vegeta would ask furiously. How should I know? I was with you all day, Goku would say. Wait, this doesn't make sense. The door can't just disappear like that, Vegeta would say. Goku would place his hand where the door used to be. There was only a wall. I'm sure it was here, Goku would say. I don't get it. There must be a way out of here, Vegeta would say. Anyway, there's no rush. Remember that time passes much slower here compared to the outside, Goku would say. Kakarot, you blockhead! You can't be this stupid! Vegeta would shout furiously. If the door is gone, that means we're trapped, Goku would say. We have to find a way out of here, Vegeta would insist. But I can't think of how, Goku would reply. Goku would close his eyes and put his fingers on his forehead as if to use instant transmission, but nothing would happen. What the hell are you trying to do? Vegeta would ask. I'm trying to see if there's a way to sense someone's ki, Goku would say, but it's impossible. It's like this is another dimension. Damn it, this is all your fault. I told you we shouldn't have entered the room of spirit and time, Vegeta would say furiously. Come on, Vegeta, don't be like that with me. Maybe the door just broke. If we wait a bit, maybe the others will manage to open it, Goku would say. After all, only a day has passed outside. You say that so calmly. I don't understand how you can be so relaxed, Vegeta would say. Seriously, don't worry. What could go wrong? Goku would say. On Earth, a year had already passed. The entire planet was in chaos. There were almost no survivors. Most of their friends had died. Only Bulma, Chi-Chi, and their children, Goten and Trunks, had survived, having protected each other. Planet Earth had become a desolate place where Frieza's army was using it as a base. They exploited all its natural resources while keeping the Kami Temple under surveillance. The Kami Temple was guarded by hundreds of soldiers. The door to the Room of Spirit and Time had been destroyed. More than 360 years had passed. One day, Frieza would go to Earth just to oversee his troops. Frieza would arrive at the Kami Temple to inquire about the Room of Spirit and Time. Grand Frieza, the commander in charge of guarding the room, would greet. Rest, Lord Frieza. According to my calculations, it's been 8 years inside. Those Saiyans must be dead by now, Very Blue would say. I know, but I don't want to take any chances. I'd rather keep everything as it is. I don't want their souls to escape to the afterlife, Frieza would say. Not until I discover a technique similar to Beerus's Hakai to destroy souls. Grand Frieza, we've recruited more men, so we'll build more bases, if that's acceptable. Splendid. As long as my army continues to grow, I'm fine with it, Frieza would reply. Since Goku and Vegeta have been trapped in the Room of Spirit and Time, his empire has expanded non-stop, Very Blue would say. You could almost say he controls the entire universe. Watch your words, Frieza would warn. If Beerus hears something like that, he would destroy me without hesitation. He hasn't interfered for now, but I won't provoke him. Meanwhile, Beerus was on his planet with Whis. They were aware of everything, as they had once tried to visit Goku and Vegeta, but couldn't find them. As a result, Whis had investigated everything, but they wouldn't interfere in mortal affairs. I really miss Earth, Whis would say. The food there was the best. Me too. But if they couldn't take care of themselves, there's nothing we can do, Beerus would say. I still don't understand why you let Lord Frieza rule Universe 7 like he's the king of the universe, Beerus would say.
When will you do something? Frieza has done a good job. His actions destroy uncivilized planets and turn them into advanced civilizations worthy of progress, Whis would explain. Remember the last meeting with the Supreme Kai. The standard of living in Universe 7 has risen tenfold since Frieza began ruling the universe. I suppose you're right, Whis would say. Good thing you noticed, Beerus would say. Now that I think about it, Frieza could be a candidate for God of Destruction, Whis would suggest. What? Beerus would say, terrified. Think about it. Frieza's actions have driven the growth of Universe 7, Whis would say, smiling slyly. That means his actions are worthy of a God of Destruction. Plus, he works tirelessly, unlike you, who just sleeps all day. You wouldn't betray me to Zeno-sama like that, would you? Beerus would ask. Just then, the Grand Priest and Zeno-samas would arrive on Beerus's planet. The God of Destruction would be terrified. Zeno-sama, Grand Priest, Beerus would say, bowing. A pleasure to see you, the Grand Priest would say. Hello, both Zeno-samas would say at once. We came because we were very intrigued by how the standard of living in your universe has risen. I imagine your gods are doing a great job, the Grand Priest would say. If I told you, you wouldn't believe me, Whis would say. Indeed, I've been paying close attention to all the planets. Thanks to my work and that of the Supreme Kai, we've brought balance and improvement to the universe, Beerus would say, trying not to reveal that it was all Frieza's doing, fearing Whis would expose him. Whis, do you have anything to add? The Grand Priest would ask. Beerus would be terrified that his angel might reveal the truth. No, Lord Beerus has done a good job, Whis would say. He especially knows how to delegate responsibilities. Delegate? One Zeno-sama would ask. Yes, what's that about delegating? The other Zeno-sama would ask. Damn it, Whis and his big mouth, Beerus would think. I've trusted key mortals and taught them how to maintain the balance of Universe 7. Thanks to my guidance and that of the Supreme Kai, we've helped mortals guide themselves to prosperity, Beerus would explain. Wow, sounds like more work than you made it seem, the Grand Priest would say. Guiding mortals requires great wisdom and, above all, patience. Very well, keep it up. We'll be going now, both Zeno-samas would say, and leave. That was close, Beerus would say. You were lucky they didn't ask about Lord Goku. Remember, he's their friend. It's been a long time. They must assume he's dead, Beerus would say. What do you plan to do now? Whis would ask. About what? Beerus would ask, annoyed. About Frieza. Who else? Whis would say. I didn't lie to them. I just didn't give them all the details. If I told them it was all thanks to Frieza and his conquest, not only would he become the god of destruction, but they'd also get rid of me. Damn, I thought you were on my side, Beerus would say, furious. I'm on no one's side. Remember, I'm a guardian angel, not your friend, Whis would say seriously. Whatever, find Frieza right now. We need to talk to him, Beerus would demand. As you command, Whis would say, smiling. He would use his staff to locate Frieza. He's on Earth, Whis would say. Good, then we're going there, Beerus would say. Whis and Beerus would begin their journey to Earth, while Bulma and Chi-Chi monitored everything from hiding. They haven't come back yet, Chi-Chi would ask. No, finding food is harder and they have to travel farther, Bulma would say. I can't believe it. How long will we have to live like this? Chi-Chi would ask, crying. Until we find a way to get Goku and Vegeta out of there, Bulma would say. Do you really think they're still alive? It must have been over 300 years for them, Chi-Chi would say. I'd like to believe there's still hope, Bulma would say, although she seemed hopeless. Trunks and Goten would return. They had managed to hunt a boar.
We brought food, Goten would say. Chi-Chi would run to her son and hug him tightly. I was afraid you wouldn't come back, she would say, crying. "Mom, you're hurting me," Goten would say as his mother hugged him too tightly. Meanwhile, Bulma was working hard at her computer. "Mom, are you still working on that?" Trunks would ask. "I have to find a way to hack Frieza's base security. I'm sure that if I succeed, I'll find a way to open the Room of Spirit and Time," Bulma would say. "Goten and I could go fight, create a distraction," Trunks would suggest. "Are you crazy? We don't even know if Frieza is there. It's better he still thinks we're all dead," Bulma would say. "All right," Trunks would say, disappointed. "I did it," Bulma would say. "What did you do?" Chi-Chi would ask. "I got into the system of the base they have at the Kami Temple," Bulma would explain. "Now I can see all their movements." "Mom, look at that! Frieza is there," Trunks would say. Bulma had access to the cameras inside the Kami Temple. She was watching everything. At that moment, Whis and Beerus would arrive. "Those bastards," Bulma would say, furious. "Mom, calm down," Trunks would say, trying to soothe her. "I've called them countless times, but they ignored me. If only they'd been here when Frieza came, this wouldn't have happened," Bulma would say, enraged. Frieza would see the angel and the god of destruction before him. He felt that something was off. "Lord Beerus, what a pleasure to have you here," Frieza would say. "Frieza, I see you're very attentive to this place," Beerus would say, looking around. "I thought you already knew about my plans to get rid of Goku and Vegeta," Frieza would say. "I understood you wouldn't interfere in mortal affairs." "You understood correctly," Beerus would say seriously, "and you've done a great job. Thanks to you, the level of Universe 7 has increased." "Wow, thank you for your words," Frieza would say. "But," Beerus would say, changing his tone. "But," Frieza would say, confused. "I can't allow you to keep doing things right, or else you'll end up stealing my spot as God of Destruction," Beerus would say. "Lord Beerus, how can you say such a thing? I would never do that." "Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't," Beerus would say. "But I didn't come to argue." Beerus would point at Frieza and erase him with Hakai energy. All of Frieza's soldiers were terrified. They had seen who they considered the most powerful being in the universe vanish in an instant. "Lord Beerus, I think you have spectators," Whis would say. "You're right," Beerus would respond. Beerus would snap his fingers and all the remaining soldiers would disappear with Hakai energy. Bulma and the others were watching everything. "I can't believe it! Beerus is shameless," Bulma would say. "But Mom, we're safe now," Trunks would say. "But only because Beerus benefits from it. He's a bastard." "Bulma, do you think we can start new lives now that Frieza is gone? Will everything be okay?" "First, I want to open the Room of Spirit and Time," Bulma would say with determination. "What will happen now that Beerus has destroyed Frieza? Will Bulma manage to open the Room of Spirit and Time? And, more importantly, what happened to Goku and Vegeta? We'll find out all of that in the next part of this theory. That's it for this video, friends. If you want to see part 4 of this theory about Goku and Vegeta trapped in the Room of Spirit and Time, this video needs to reach 70 likes and lots of comments. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That will motivate me to keep uploading more videos and theories for you. See you in the next video.